I'm Apostle Pinckney here with a good friend of mine, a young man who's headed off to Tallahassee to Florida University. This is Donovan Green. I'm just excited about this young man. I've known him all his life. When I tell you all his life, I saw him born, his brothers born. I saw his mama born. What does that tell you about Pastor? How old am I? But Donovan Green, I'm really excited about the opportunity to talk to him and share some things with him. So I'm gonna just let you introduce yourself to us, Donovan. Let us know who you are.
Like Pastor said, I'm Donovan Green. I'm a junior at FAMU. I'll be majoring in allied health science, and I'm a Jacksonville native, and that's about it.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good. That's good. Now, Donovan, let me ask you this: how long you been saved? Because Donovan is a church boy. What I mean by a church boy, I tell you, he been in church all his life. Yeah. How long you been saved, man?
All my life.
All your life.
All my life.
All your life. Do you enjoy living a saved life?
Yes, sir, I do. But it can get kind of confusing hearing new things as you get older. But the mindset stays the same.
Okay. Now, when you say hearing new things, is it about some of the people that you're with, or how is that? Talk to me about that.
Well, social media, that's the biggest one. And just walking the street, because you hear things like Hebrew Israelites and Muslim, Islam, you hear some of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being in college, because you see so many different people.
Oh yeah. Let me ask you this: when you see these people, do you just start a conversation? I mean, do they start a conversation, or is it something that you just end up hearing and paying attention to? How does that work?
They just start a conversation, but it normally doesn't start with religion. You know how you just talk to people and the conversation progresses. It's one of them.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna come back to that. Now, let me ask you this: tell me, are you enjoying college life?
Oh yes, sir. I am a whole lot.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell me some of the pros and the cons that you can think about, some of the things that you think are good, or maybe some things that you think are challenging? Because the reason I'm saying that, you have a lot of young people who are headed off to college, going to college for the first time, not knowing what to expect and this type of thing and the other. So just tell me some of your experiences that you have, a positive and a negative in that area.
I think one of the best pros to going to college is the networking, because you meet so many people in so many different fields. So I'm in the medical field, but outside of medical, I've met a lot of people who are into business that got me into entrepreneurship, and you just hear some of everything with that.
Okay.
But I think some of the negatives is not really knowing what direction you want to head in.
Oh, yeah. You mean you or some other people, or just you?
Me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But I also met a lot of people who say they don't know. Like I know some people who changed their major in the first year at least 10 times.
Okay.
Just not knowing.
Not knowing.
Yeah, because, growing up, a lot of us just hear you're going to graduate high school, go to college, find a good job. But we don't know what that good job is.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That make a lot of sense. That make a lot of sense. As I said, I came out of college in 1974, and some of the young people I was in college with, they had some of the same questions.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do? I got this degree. Do I really want to do that in that area? But I can relate to that. I can relate to that. Now, how do you find that? Your instructors in school. What type of people are they? What I mean by that, how are you finding? Are they receptive to the needs that you have? Do they spend time with you? Are there some that's not really that concerned? Tell me about that.
Well, I think most HBCU professors are more relatable, and they kind of give you a little more leeway because they coming from the perspective, I've been there before. Like you're gonna meet some rough professors, but most of them will help you out, and they'll text you and say, hey, I need you to pass my class, whereas I went to a state college too, so most of those professors just don't care. They just give you the work, and if you do it, you do it.
You found that out. You are, and as I noticed, you said you made a distinction there. You said at HBCU. Would you recommend HBCUs to African American kids coming out of high school?
Yeah, I most definitely would, because you get that cultural experience from college that you can't get other places.
That's important.
All right.
Knowing who you are is, trust me, because you are 2 generations beyond me. And what I mean by that is I came up knowing my past. 2 generations past that, a lot of young people really don't even know their past. They don't know the struggles it took for you to be able to be where you are today. There are people who live, when I tell you, sacrifice their lives. They literally sacrifice their lives. So I lived in an age, I'm born in the 50s. So with that, I was always able to relate to my past. I saw the struggles. I know what it took. Well, now you were born in, what year you were born?
2004.
2004. That's two generations. And in that, the history has been lost. And not only has been lost, the care for it. Now, do you find? Now, I know you know a lot about about the history of your people,
Right.
but do you find a lot of people, your peers, that really don't understand what this was all about?
Yes, sir. But I think that's not really our fault because, we're in the state of Florida and politicians, they're taking a lot of education regarding history out of school.
You're right.
Right.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. So So I'm asking the question: do you think there are a lot of people in your age group or your colleagues that really don't know their history? I know you said it's not about fault, but how do you see that? You think it's some really don't know the importance of the struggle?
Yeah, I think we see that a lot, especially during election time, because a lot of young people say, what's the point of voting when you still have the electoral college, and you know how 2016, Hillary Clinton, she won the popular vote, but the electoral college gave it to Trump. A lot of people saying our vote doesn't matter.
Okay.
And your generation was, well, we in the streets protesting, we dying for this, so we need to vote because of the sacrifice. But our generation don't see it that way.
That's right.
They just see it as
Vote is not necessary.
right.
Well, you know what? The electoral, a lot of time there's a misunderstanding about the electoral college. The electoral college was really created for one reason and one reason only. It was the northern politicians created electoral college to stop the southern states from voting as a block, because there were so many southern states, and if they voted as a block, they could determine who the election was. So that's really the original reason why we had the electoral college. It was never about what they're saying. That whole idea was to stop those 13, 14 southern states from everybody getting together and voting for one person. And they felt that that's what they would do. Well, out of that is where the electoral college came from. If we break this up, maybe that particular part of the country won't have so much influence. And, people don't talk about that. But that was the real reason why the electoral college was created, to prevent the southern states from voting as a block. Because if you notice, we have not had too many southern presidents. I think Jimmy Carter was one, and Bill Clinton was the other. Other than that, we didn't have them. So that's what the Northerners were afraid of. That's what they're afraid. See, that's a part of history that's not even talked about.
Not at all.
So when people talk about, we don't want the electoral college, you got to understand there was a reason why that was done. That was not just done for the reasons they tell you. There were other reasons why the electoral college was created. Now, I heard you talk about the vote. Now in many of the people, your college friends, are they registered to vote? Do you think?
Yes, sir. Most of us are, because you have a lot of people that just walk around asking you, "Are you registered to vote?" And they'll get you signed up on the spot.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of people that are.
It takes. I feel like, I'm gonna be honest with you. The articulation of our past, Donovan, has been skewed, and I'm gonna say this to you, and I want you to really think about it. Institutions are the holders of knowledge. Okay, right. That's who hold knowledge. That's who records history, and that's who transmits history. When you find that our people tend to less the importance of HBCUs, what you're doing, you're canceling your history, because even during the civil rights movement, the inferiority that whites said that blacks were inferior, you know where that came from? That came from professors in college, places like Wake Forest. They came and taught that, and because these people had degrees, it became the norm, and people accepted that in the South. That is why it's so important that our HBCUs stay alive. They stay alive. They are the holders of history. They transmit history. They record history, and they put it out there. Without those institutions, they do not exist. I said that to say this. Do you ever find people in your peer group that will try to lessen the value of a HBCU?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
That's why I laid this out. Tell me about that.
I think most of the time it's people that went to predominantly white institutions that's looking for I want to say they looking for validation in other places, but they just coming from a different background where they don't see the cultural importance of college. They just see it as a business decision.
And so they don't see the importance of a HBCU.
Right.
They think HBCUs don't carry the knowledge or the information or the opportunity that other schools would carry.
Right. Like they'll say, because you know PWIs like Florida State and LSU, they're ranked nationally on a larger scale. But when it comes to African Americans, HBCUs, they produce the most black professionals in the world. But most people don't know that. They just looking at overall Americans.
That's right. Remember,
not our demographic.
remember what I told you? Who writes the history? That's where it comes from. Who writes the history? Right. Well, the predominantly white institutions write the history. And since they write the history, they can produce history and information any way they want. At the same time, HBUs can do the same thing, but at the same time, when you have people who think in terms of think that it's not a worthy institution and it's not as on the same level of education, which it is.
Right.
It is. That's why HBUs have to thrive. They have to thrive because they are the ones that are recording the history of your people. And for years, your history of your people has been eliminated because of the institutions that do that are trying to be eliminated. Let me tell you a little story right quick. Back in the 70s, there was a vast move across the entire United States, especially in the South, to eliminate HBCUs. The plan was to combine FAMU with Florida State. The plan was to combine LSU with Southern. It was the University of Texas with Texas Southern. It was all across the country. In the South, the plan was to eliminate HBCUs. We didn't call them that then. And South Carolina State with University of South Carolina, North Carolina State with A&T, with North Carolina, all of this, the University of North Carolina, that was a plan. That was a plan from the South to eliminate all of HBCUs. You know who saved it? People FAMU. They filed a suit in the state of Florida against that. Well, they won the suit. So what happened, all the other colleges adopted that same suit, and after a while, the state stopped it. It was FAMU that was instrumental because it was a massive plan. They wanted to close Tennessee State. All the schools, it was a plan to close them and merge them with predominantly white schools. But FAMU stood up against it, and they stood up against it strong. Well, consequently, the idea has been closed. But what I'm saying is that they understood the value, and that's why I'm talking to you, even as to understand that if you and your generation don't fight for the existence, the notoriety, the attention, and their awards and their claims that come out of your schools, if you don't fight for this, it's not going to be fought for on the other side.
I agree.
You have to fight. You have to fight. It's one thing to be there, but it's something else when you're going to say, listen, I am proud of where I am. I'm proud of where I am. And that is something that's extremely important. But I'm doing a lot of talking. I don't want to talk. I want you to talk. Now, what is your major this year? You told me what your major is. Now, what are your short-term plans for when you get your degree? What direction you think you may go into?
I want to go into healthcare administration, but specifically management, because I want to open my own practice and be my own boss.
Now, you say you're in like physical therapy. What is that you explain to us what you're doing now?
It's general health, so I can go in any hospital, any medical setting, and do the administration side of things.
Okay. Now, are there a lot of openings for that particular field? Now, I know you say you want to start your business, but is there a lot of openings for that particular field in your particular field when you graduate?
Yes, sir, it is. That's why I did general health, so I have a more broad field to choose from.
Okay. So what you'll just be going wherever you get the best deal.
All right.
That's what you're going to be doing.
Plan.
That's the plan to go. So you should be graduating in about 2 years?
2 years, yes, sir.
2 years. Okay. Now, let me ask you this too. In your field, are there any subsidiaries? Are there other options that you can go to? Does your field create? I can expand my field to do this also where I am now.
It is, because after I get my undergrad degree, I could go into what's the word I'm looking for? A medical master's degree and go practice medicine, or I could go and just do management in general, or I could stay with a physical science field.
Okay, that's good. That gives you a lot of options. That sounds good. That sounds good, Donovan. Now let's go on being in college, man. Are there any social challenges you have? You know what you know.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
talk to me about that.
Because you have so many people, and I'm an introverted person, so I'm not the type to go and just put myself out there. But it hasn't been that hard because, like I said, there's so many people, and you just meet people.
Oh yeah.
Like you could just be walking anywhere and just meet people,
Oh yeah.
just start having conversations.
Now, the LGBT community is that. Do you now tell me because that's real. I mean, you know, to be truthful with you, when I went to school, that term didn't even exist. You know, we didn't even have a term for that. To be honest with you, we would notice there would be a group of people, but you know, you saw them and you saw them.
Yeah, you see it a lot now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, a lot.
Talk to me about that. You see.
Oh well, it's just becoming the cultural norm now.
Oh yeah.
That's why I think because they have so many laws for them in place now. So yeah, I think it's just becoming culturally acceptable.
Oh yeah. Do you think that does that? You think? I mean, in your opinion, you think does that create any problems or any difficulties or?
I don't really think it create difficulties. I think it's just I'm not sure.
Because it's just there
Yeah, it's just there.
and nobody even talks about it anymore. You see it and
Yeah, it's just there.
that's it.
Right.
That is. People are you. Do you know of any instances where people maybe were approached from the LGBT community for anything or relationships or like that?
No, I haven't seen it myself, but I do know you have a lot of HBTQ associates, I guess you call them, that like feel discriminated against in like different settings. But like I said, I wouldn't know.
Oh. So it's such a part of the society now until it is taken on a society of its own.
Right.
And nobody ever says anything about it. Is that anything that you ever talk to about diversity? Do they ever anywhere in your college college setting anybody says about that diversity and how you must respect that or whatever the case may be?
Oh yeah, they most definitely have conversations saying to respect everybody. It's just I never had a hands-on experience because I'm not really around that crowd.
You're not okay, but you do have to know you have to.
Right.
You
You have
work.
to treat them the same as everybody else.
Now, some and a part of that community. I'm not trying to be. How should I say this? Are some more deliberate than others? What I mean by that, they want to make sure you know who they are.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why they have pride flags and everything, so you'll know
Oh yeah.
exactly who they are.
Oh yeah. Yes. Well, that's interesting. Why am I saying this to you? Because, like I said, there are many kids that are off to school. They don't really know what to expect, because it's a big jump from high school to college. It's a totally different environment. Now that since you've already been in college, but now you're pretty much left to do what you want to do. And what I mean by that, is it any self-discipline you have to apply now? What I mean by that, do you have to discipline yourself compared to where, now let's just say when you were in high school, you had your parents saying do this, not do this, reminding you. What did you find was that in making that transition to now actually having to be responsible for myself? How was that for you? How was that?
It was kind of difficult at first, like just the small things like catching the cold, then having to go in the store and pick your own medicine. Like I'll be calling my mama saying, "What do I need?" So it just be the small things like that, and making your own schedule in general.
Okay.
Like, cause here, growing up in church, you used to going to church every Sunday, every Wednesday. That's your set schedule. But when you get to college, you making your own schedule, finding your own church, finding your own hospitals, physicians, and all that stuff.
So it's another step now of independence.
Right.
Is independent. Now you think you got a pretty good handle on it now.
Oh yeah, I got a real good handle on it.
Oh yeah. Now let me ask you this. Now, let me tell you what I did. I went to college. You found guys that didn't really know how you got to wash your clothes.
Yeah, I done met some of them.
Yeah, you. You done met them, huh?
Met some of them.
Yeah, you got to wash your clothes. You got to, wash your bedspreads. You got to wash your sheets. You got to. You got to wash your towels, man. You just can't use a towel for 5 weeks and don't do nothing.
Like I knew one guy, he didn't really know how to wash his clothes because he was used to his mama doing it. So his mama just sent him like 50 packs of underwear.
she she just said here 50
just sent
packs,
him
50
50 packs
packs.
underwear.
So I guess after he well, he throw them away.
All right. I don't know what he did
with
with
him.
him, but I never seen him wash clothes.
He didn't. Well, that's that area about independence. You find out quick, fast, in a hurry. There are things that you're accustomed to, maybe your parents doing, and in college you have to find out there's nobody gonna do that.
Right.
What about waking up on time and going to class?
Yeah, that's real tough. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a morning person, so I just be setting different alarms back to back to back.
Mm-hmm. So that was a challenge for you, setting your own schedule now as far as getting up.
All right.
Now, how did you spend your time? Like I know, but I know you. You know, you are an introvert. Reason I can say that I know Donovan real well. But did you have much of a social life? Do you?
Oh yes, sir, I did. Because I know a lot of people coming from Jacksonville with me, so I used to spend a lot of time with them.
Okay, some of them lived in the dorm, or off campus, or whatever.
Oh, all of us stayed in the same dorm.
Okay. So you'd involve yourself in social,
Right.
in social activity like that. Now, I want to ask you now. As far as your church life is concerned, like you said, you grew up in church. Now, tell me about that. How are you finding a place to worship, and is it possible for you to worship regular like you used to? Talk to me a little about that, because I'm really saying that because I'm leading somewhere with this.
I think it's, like I said, it's kind of hard finding the church on your own because I think every church is different, and the people are different. So sometimes going in certain places because people don't know you, they kind of give a prejudgment and kind of treat you kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Walking in, and like you could feel them kind of, I guess you could say, judging you in a way.
Oh yeah.
So it just be kind of,
Right there in college town, right there in Tallahassee.
it just be kind of weird.
You did look at you straight.
Yeah, that's why a lot of times I just watch the church Facebook Live instead of going in other places.
Now you found that the people are not. I would think. Well, I'm saying this like this. I would think that's a college town.
All right.
85% of the young people there are there in college. And I would think that a church would be more receptive to the people coming in, knowing that most of these kids are college kids. They're in a different environment, and they're trying to find a place to worship. So,
Yeah, and I think ideally they are, but they still be kind of judging you, like, because one time I went in this church and basically the lady, she didn't really believe I was saved and kept trying to get me up to say I was saved.
she make sure she go get you saved before you get out of there, huh?
And my brother, he had that same experience, so that's why I just guess like it was common.
Yeah. Are there a lot of college students that tend to start churches or ask you to come to go to their church with them like that? What do you find about that?
Most college students have like little study groups, Bible study groups, but I don't know any that started churches themselves.
They have little small Bibles. Have you ever been to any of them?
No, I have.
Okay.
Especially when I was in Atlanta, I used to go to a lot of different churches.
Oh yeah, and what was your experience? Was your experience in Atlanta the same as it was in Tallahassee, or what?
Well, the black population in Atlanta bigger, so you have more variety of churches that look familiar.
Oh yeah, and so what you didn't have in Tallahassee?
Tallahassee, I don't know because Tallahassee is a small country town, so where in Atlanta you could just go on social media and find churches. In Tallahassee, you actually got to go in
and find.
Yeah, and experience the church for yourself.
Okay. What about this? Is a big AME church now. I think that's Bethel. You ever been there? Down the street from
right down the street.
Yeah. They built that when I was there. Is when they built Bethel, and a lot of people used to go there. A lot of them went there. To be honest with you, and I can remember they went there to sing in the choir.
Yeah, a lot of people still go there.
Yeah. It's right down. I think was that on Wanish Way or. I don't know what that is, right?
I don't know what
right down there. And I remember they built it. A lot of people were going there. Well. Let me ask you this. Now, do you still do they have chapels or assemblies on campus at any time?
No, I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. That's sure. Okay. What about crime? Highest crime. You do have you had any challenges as far as that's concerned? Criminal activity.
Not really in Tallahassee, but while I was in Atlanta, the crime was bad.
That's right, because you were going to Clark.
Right.
You were going to Clark. Crime was pretty
Yeah,
bad.
the crime was bad.
It was.
It was.
Oh man.
On campus.
On campus.
It was real bad.
Was it the crime from people outside coming on campus, or was it sometime involved in the people that were on campus too?
It was both.
It was both.
Yeah, it was a lot of both.
Now, you run across any foreign exchange students?
I haven't. Not
Yeah.
personally,
Not
but I
per-
do see them on campus.
You do see them? Are there many white kids go to FAM? You see them?
It's not many, but probably every 1 out of 30.
1 out of 30. Oh, okay. Now, let me ask you this: is there any activism on campus? When I mean about that, do you have you since you have been there, or even when you were at Tallahassee Community College at that, did you see any demonstrations taking place for issues or whatever at any time?
I didn't see any personally, but I did hear about things that would be going on and being organized.
Oh yeah.
Like things for the Palestinian war
Okay.
and all those issues.
You saw that. Do you anticipate seeing that at FAMU?
I do.
You do.
Yes, sir, because it's been happening all over.
You believe people have strong issues as far as that's concerned at FAMU. How do you feel that? I know you haven't been there that much. You've been through the campus. You've been there in Tallahassee.
Right.
You think people have political views about that Palestinian war in Gaza?
Almost definitely, especially in the HBCU world, because recently at Morehouse, they had President Joe Biden as the commencement speaker. And during his commencement speech, you had a lot of Morehouse graduates that just either walked out or turned their back because they felt like it was a genocide.
Okay. How you feel about that?
I think it's a genocide also. But it's a war that's been going on for years. So
Yeah, that's a situation that's you're going back. You're going deep in history with that.
Right.
That's deep in history. That's not just exclusive to today. And I think that sometimes maybe people are trying to make it today, but truthful, that's hundreds of years there you're talking about. Yeah. At some point in time, that struggle has been going on hundreds of years. It just erupts in different areas, but it's not new. And I personally don't think it will ever be a resolve to that. That's not going. You're not going to resolve that. That's one of those issues that's simply not going to be resolved. It's not going to be resolved. Now, let me ask you this. Now, in your views about life, how do you anticipate at some point in time that you may want to take a wife and start a family? Are you thinking in terms of that?
Oh, most definitely. I just don't know when.
Yeah. The reason I said that because you got a lot of young people don't even want to talk about family.
True.
You got a lot. They don't even. I'm gonna live a bachelor. Or I'm gonna live single all my life, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna, build my business and later on in life. But your thoughts in that, you're really that is something that you think you'll be looking forward to.
Yes, sir. I would want a family. I just don't know when.
Oh yeah, is the family unit important to you?
Yes, sir. I think it is.
Talk to me about that.
Because I think raising a child, it's better to have both perspectives from both parents. Mm-hmm. But it's just, things happen.
Because you came up in a family unit.
Right.
You know about that. Mm-hmm. That's another thing in your generation. You have a lot of young people who didn't come up in a father, a husband and a wife environment,
right,
and really don't understand it. I'm finding that out too. You have a lot of young people who don't understand the importance of a mother and a father in that family, and so a lot of them, I talked to some young people that said, listen, if I get married, I'm going to wait till about 30, 40, 30 years old. I'm going to build my career, and then I'll build my wealth, and then I'll see about being a family. But what's your perspective on that? You think people ought to wait? Just off the cuff, just what you think. You think you ought to build your career first? Or there's no right or wrong answer here, Donovan.
I think you could do both. Like build your career while building a family.
Yeah.
I think you could do both.
Yeah, because the family can benefit from the building of a career and understand the sacrifices that's being made. A lot of young people, they don't want to do that, though, Donovan. No, they don't. What they want to do, they want to go in and make their money and then didn't have the family, but the approach of building the family and the career at the same time. That's the best way. And let me say this to you: in the white community is consistently family oriented. They are. They family oriented. You go out you go out in the mall, you will see 3 and 4 children in the white community. But you go out in the mall and often you'll see maybe 1 child or no child. We married couples. They understand the value of the family unit, and I would pray that the time would come that African Americans would appreciate the same thing. It's so important about that family unit, because that's the thing. Now, just in some of your passive closing remarks. Now, just as a young man, how are you, Donovan?
I'm 20 years old.
Oh my God, what does that tell me about me? You 20 years old, my God. Now, what was that? Now, just if you had to make just a summary of where you are and where you want to go and what your plans are, just generally, what would you say? What would you say?
I would say I'm still at the age where I'm unsure, but I have a good idea of where I want to go as far as my career, and I know spiritually I'm probably going to be in the same place as far as being Christian and everything. But I think that's about it.
That's about it. That's about it. Well, you know what? I want to say to you, Donovan, it's good not to know, but it's good to want to know.
All right.
You know, it's nothing wrong with that. You're at the age right now, to be truthful about it, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit.
Definitely.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. There are no restrictions on you now. You can take yourself as far as you want to go. It's good to be undecided, but it's also good to say I'm undecided, but I do have a thought of wanting to do something. Well, I've enjoyed really talking to you, Donovan. Tell me, now you got some other brothers, don't you? Tell me what their name.
My oldest brother is Darvell, and my youngest brother is Daniel.
Okay, what is Darvell doing now? What is he doing?
Darvell just graduated from FAMU, the Allied Health Science degree, and he's going back to school to FAMU to get his master's.
Okay. Tell me about that Daniel. Who is this Daniel?
Daniel, he's a sophomore in high school, and he's playing football, and that's about it with Daniel.
That's about it with Daniel.
That's about it with Daniel.
Yeah. Don't you have a cousin? Who is your cousin? You got it.
My cousin is your grandson.
What is his name?
Frederick Pinckney Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Frederick just graduated, too.
Yeah. I just want to say, y'all, these boys have been together so long until it's just they grew up together. Yep. Frederick, Darvell, Donovan, and Donovan, not Donovan, Darvell, but declared that he's your father.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he's
that boy crazy.
That boy crazy.
That boy crazy.
Yeah, he said he's their father, you know. But it's been an enjoyable time talking to you, Donovan, and I. You know, I'm just looking forward to what it was in store for you, the plans, and keep yourself focused. And I want to just want to just say to you, you know, keep like you just said, you're gonna stay where you are spiritually. And is that anything that you would encourage any young college students, any black males or black people?
But yeah, I'll say being spiritually at this age kind of keep you grounded, like on morals and values, because a lot of young people don't have morals and values because we be all over the place, especially what we see on social media and just young people culture in general. It's all over the place.
So your spiritual life is important to you.
It is.
What you said, to keep you grounded.
Yeah, keep you grounded.
Well, that's exciting. So this is 2020. What's it, 2024? So you should be coming out in 2026.
Yes, sir.
Now, you know I'm gonna be right there hollering your name when you walk across that stage. I'm excited for you, Donovan,
yes,
and I'm excited for you keeping your head centered. And you know, thank God you're proud of who you are. You know, proud of who you are, proud of your heritage, and stay with that. So thank you so much, Donovan.
No problem.
Man, you're going back to school. You'll be leaving in a few days, going back, and Pastor gonna be coming up there on the hill for you, hollering your name. Say, Donovan Green, where are you? Pastor up here want to see you, man. But all right then, thank you so much for this interview, and we're gonna put this out on social media, and we're gonna send it to you, and you can share it with all your friends. All right then. Okay, God bless you, man.
Yes,
Talk to you. This from Apostle Payne. Thank you for joining us today on our broadcast. God bless you. Bye-bye.